Hey guys, it's Avenger, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll take a look at Carenado's latest release. This is the PA-28-181 Archer 2. What's so different about it? Well, the Archer 2 has a bigger engine, and yes, it's still a Piper, like many others, but this is a fixed gear aircraft with a far bigger engine and better speed. Now, this one, of course, the PA-28 is the family, I should say, of 2- and 4-seat light aircraft built by Piper, and they were used for multiple purposes: air taxis, training, personal use. Now, they're all metal, unpressurized, single-engine piston aircraft with low wings and tricycle landing gear. Single right-hand door. And this is the PA-28-181 Archer 2. So, 4 seats, fixed gear. It runs a Lycoming 0360 A4M, or the 0360 A4A, which is 180 horsepower, hence 181-ish. Now, gross weight is 2,550 pounds, which is 1,100 kilograms, and it was first certified on the 8th of July 1975. Now, this includes a tapered wing, which is newer models of PA-28s rather than the old Hershey bar straight wing. It includes 8 liveries, you can see here. Now, we have by default the GNS 430, of course, that's the working title one now. And it has integration for both the GTN 750s, which is a feature a lot of more recent Carenado planes have omitted. Granted, some of those have been famous flyers aircraft, but some of their actual individual releases have missed that option, or have only had the option for one or the other, TDS or PMS. Now, it does say it has sound recorded from a real aircraft. I will say apparently, because Carenado's sounds are not always perfect. We're going to first go into the cockpit here, because we are going to pull out the tabletto. And the switches are going hinky-dinky-dinky-doo. What is wiggling? Clickety-clickety-clack. Something is not set correctly. Let me just quickly rock the switches on my controllers here, because something is cross-mapping. There we go. Found it. I had a cross-map button. Okay, so let's turn these on. We'll take a little external look. So we've got a cover, including the static elements, which is unfortunate that has to go on as well. It's just all or nothing, apparently. Pilots, tow bars, the doors, obviously we can't open with this on. We can open that. Oh, well, there we go. We can pop that off with that. Open the passenger door. Fairings on and off. We'll do that in a second. Now, the GTN 750, we can have either PMS or we can have TDS. So we have the TDS one and we have PMS. So those are both installed for me, but I'll put that one on. So I don't know which it's going to show, because it only has the option for on-off. Oh, there we go. That solves that problem. And we have cold, dark, ready for taxi, ready for takeoff options there. And our checklists. So let's go outside here and take a look around this little aviation beastie. Obviously, if you open the door or the cargo hatch, it will disable the cover, which is good to know, because that is something I was a little curious about myself. I didn't really want it to have to do that, but apparently we have the option. Because at first I thought we'd have the cover or nothing, but no, that will come off if you open one of the hatches. So, got our starter pack. We've got chocks. Carenado physical quality of the aircraft are always very good. So texturing quality, wear and tear, weathering, I do appreciate that. At the back there, little bits of primer showing under the paint, where the tail surface sort of moved around, the control surface is there. Obviously, as you'll notice, this entire plane moves here. It's not just part of it, the entire thing goes. The trim tab on the end is what actually controls its movement. Look towards the front here, we've got our trolley for moving the aircraft, our tow bar. All our covers and features and fun things. It's a classic PA-28. There's not a huge amount to talk about with this. It's a PA-28. They're pretty cool. We all like them. Let's go back inside. Let's take this thing for a spin and see how she actually performs, because that's what the real meat of this review is about, isn't it? So all this stuff is set as we want it to be. We'll turn the static elements off, external powers off, tow bars off, pilots are on. Close the doors, and we'll disable the fairings real quick. Just take a quick look at those as we go back outside. Why did I put my controller down? Obviously, you'll notice they're just the same as before, but in real life, you'll lose a little bit of speed with the fairings off. But if you're working on grass or rough fields, this is a good idea to take them off, because otherwise they can get damaged. So It is durable in that regard that you can have it operate both ways. It's nice that they included that feature. And it has felt like a minute since we've had a full Carenado release of an aircraft, so it's good that we actually have this. Let's go back inside here. Let's pull that back up one last time because I need to make sure I've disabled a couple of things that we need to have off. So, cargo door is closed, fairings on. Okay, so battery, those two red ones, and avionics are on. This is turning on now as well. It's our 750 from TDS. Good that we have this operational. Now let's get our mixture up there. Let's get our fuel set correctly. We have left and right tank, and we have off. So we'll start on left tank as you should. Obviously we have the opening storm window there. Closed by that. We have sun visors that have two positions, but at least they operate. Interior wise, I like this. It feels a little grubbier. Now this is one of my favourites from back in FSX and P3D, so I'm really glad they brought this back, and it does appear to have some maybe a little bit of additional weathering and wear and tear. It looks a bit more loved, and compared to the other Carenado ones we have, not bad. Like, I do quite like how this appears. It's done well. So obviously these could be clicked, but they don't do anything. Obviously,
system test okay.
Well, I'm glad it's working. Thank you for telling me that. Okay, so let's get ourselves going here. Obviously, mags and starters down there. Primers here. Parking brake is there. Right, let's pull that back. Crack the throttle here. Let's do some multiple hand starting on this aircraft, shall we? Fuel pump to on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let's have a listen to the sounds outside, shall we? Oh! This sounds different. Well then. This does not sound like the other PA-28s. This sounds throatier. Well then. Well then. Okay, let's get our head switched on. Let's take this old girl for a fly, shall we? So, yeah, other than the texturing looks a little bit more weathered and more loved than previous ones. Let's kill her as we taxi out. It feels a little bit more loved, a little bit more textured in here. A little bit more wear and tear on surfaces, which give it a bit more kind of authenticity. One notch of flaps for here. Visibility is good in the aircraft. Do we get a sound difference at opening the storm window? We do. Okay, we over taxied there as we're turning. Give it some beans, we'll get herself off the ground here and see what she can do. Feel her dig the nose in there as we start to go. Needles alive. Now feel the back end start to pick up a little bit there. We'll lift the nose up. It's kind of trimmed a bit nose down by default, so the back end wants to start lifting before the front does with standard trim. So that might be Carenado, because PA-28s don't tend to do that. Okay, get ourselves a bit neutral there on our climb. We'll pull our power back a tad. Okay. Obviously, you'll be looking down there for your RPM, which is what you're setting your engine by. That's 25 there. Flaps up, nose will drop. Yeah. Okay. So PA-28 is a very...
ahead.
Thank you.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I am going to silence you.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Shut up.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Shut up.
Terrain ahead.
I am going to smack you. I will switch you off.
Terrain ahead.
No. I will mute you, you stupid computer. I'm well aware there's terrain ahead. We're in Canada. There is lots of terrain. So yes, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, the plane is very stable, but PA-28s are. They're very, very stable. And we'll do a quick power off stall. Little rocky, actually. That's a bit weird. We could be getting some mountain air there. So, I've noticed a lot of aircraft behave a bit strangely in mounted turbulence. So, power off stall. Keep us straight and level here. Get the power or the speed bleed off there for us. Dropping the nose down. Mushing. Oh, hello. There we go. Bit of power on there. Okay. Little bit weird which wing it wants to drop. Maybe that's a strange feature of that, but it feels a little odd. It wants to kind of switch between the wings. It's losing lift on. We are getting some turbulence anyway, so we'll factor that into that equation and consider it maybe balanced. Overall, again, the turbulence here is very much more a factor of Bella Coola than it is of anything else. So let's make sure we've got some power here. We'll bring her around and we'll pop her in for a landing. The sounds. Let's go outside while we're flying, actually. The sounds feel way better, I must say. Can't yell at me about terrain out here, can you? No. Oh, terrain ahead! Terrain ahead! Okay, we're very close in here, so we'll actually circle back that way. But, I like it. This is definitely different. The sounds are dramatically improved over what Carenado normally give us. This sounds a lot more like a PA-28 than their previous ones have. Just flight ones sound great. Carenado's Arrows and Art Warrior kinda sounded very muted and generic. Whereas this sounds considerably nicer. It sounds meatier, a bit more weed whackerier. I mean, the O360s have a bit of that sound. Pipers in general sound a bit more rattly, I guess is the best way I can describe it. This sounds a lot more like what I expect a Piper to sound like. Okay, we'll bring the power back here. We'll lose some airspeed. And where are we? There's the bend in the river. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Power's back to idle. Come on, lose some airspeed for me. That's it. Now, of course, you have manual flaps in this, not electronic, so they deploy very quickly, which will help us ditch some airspeed. We'll curve this approach in here rather than flying it straight so we're off center and I want to bring her down. And we've got live weather today, so it's a little choppy here in the valley. We'll just let ourselves drift down once we catch a little bit of turbulence. Like I said, that's more of a factor of...
Terrain ahead.
Yes,
Pull
thank
up.
you. Stop. Thank you. Little steep.
Terrain
little bump.
ahead.
Thank you.
Terrain ahead.
Yes,
Pull
let's go to the
up.
airport. Sometimes this is correct about terrain. Sometimes it's very much not correct about terrain.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I'm aware it's going down.
500.
I'm going to rip this thing out my dashboard and throw it at a wall. A very hard wall. That will break it. Okay, nice and easy. Good stable approach into Bella Coola here. As stable as you can get with me flying. PA-28s will really come in for an approach very nicely. They'll hold their speed, they balance well, and that's a tree. We'll just lift the wing there. They will float if you let them though, so you need to be a little bit more positive putting them down. There we are. Pull those flaps up. This is how quickly they deploy because it's a manual lever. There we go. Okay, so what do I think? Price on this aircraft is... Oh, that's a bear. There's a guy... Brave man. That airport worker is confronting a grizzly. Rather you than me, buddy. Yogi's going to use you as a sock puppet. Okay, we're getting out of here before we join that party. What do I think of this aircraft? The zoom has gone out really quickly there. I like it. This is actually... Oh, God. Why is it either one or the other? viewpoints. Bruh. I think this is one of the better Carenado releases actually right now. Not only do we have the actual stock Asobo pilot choices, so you can pick your pilot rather than Grumpy and Grumpy Jr. The texturing is nicer. This was a very popular plane back in FSX and P3D. It cruises quickly. You've got a cruise speed of about 154-ish, so you've got a decent cruise speed. Lots of options in the aircraft. The ability to use both GTNs, so the 750 NXI from TDS and the PMS 750. You can use stock avionics in this as well, working title 430, and you could also... It flies well. More weathering, more texturing, nicer than it was. It was one of the earlier HD aircraft that Carenado did of their line when they first started doing those, and it is well done. Huh. Flight behavior is better. I'm not going to say it's perfect, it's still Carenado. It's better. The sounds are much better. Much better. They're not SimWorks sounds. But this is a much nicer overall experience, and I'm quite pleasantly surprised. I'm very pleasantly surprised, in fact. Come on. Open the... Okay, that was lock and unlock. How do I open you? Oh, there's 2 latches, aren't there? I'm being stupido. Open you go. Yeah. This is well done. I would say if you're on the edge about this, buy it. It's not the retractable arrows. It's faster than the Warrior. This is a well done aircraft by them. Rather impressed. Rather impressed. Good work, Carenado. I could see myself flying this a fair bit, and it's the typical price, so I would actually go out there and buy it if it's something that'll interest you. There's a lot of single-engine GA aircraft out there right now, but you can't really go wrong with the texture and model quality of a Carenado. The sounds will usually let them down. These are better. And it overall seems like they've actually gone to an extra step on making this a refined model. Not bad. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.